Good morning, students. Today we are going to read about the business and its features. Definition of business and its features. So first, let us see the definition of a business. A business may be defined as an economic activity involving the production and sale of goods and services undertaken with a motive of earning profit by satisfying human needs in society. With that, you please add one thing: on a regular basis. So business can be defined as an economic activity involving the production and sale of goods and services undertaken with a motive of earning profit by satisfying human needs in society on a regular basis. Next thing we have to learn about the features of business or characteristics of business activities. So let us see what are those characteristics. First characteristic is it is an economic activity. I hope you know what is the meaning of economic and non-economic activities. Yes, you are right. If with any activity, if there is any money involved, monetary matter is involved, then that is called as the economic activity. Whereas if there is no monetary matter involved, then that is known as non-economic activity. For example, economic activity means anything. Suppose if you have purchased something from any shop or a shop sold something to you, then that is an economic activity. But because in return of that goods or service, you have given some money. So as the money involved there, therefore that is an economic activity. Whereas non-economic activity means anything which is no money involved. For example, if your mom did anything for you or you did something good to your friend, obviously you will not charge any money. So as you don't charge any money and as there is no money involved, therefore we know call that one as a non-economic activity. So in this regard, we have to consider that a business is an economic activity. Whatever transaction, whatever events take place in a business, that must be of an economic activity. Without that economic activity, business activity cannot be done. Second point is the production or procurement of goods and services. What does it mean? It means that whenever if it is a business, then that business have to either procure goods and services, or they have to produce that particular goods or service. Now, what is the meaning of production? You know that what is the meaning of production. Suppose if you see in the roadside, those thelawalas, they are just making samosas and you are buying from them. What does it mean? That thelawala is just making that samosa. They are just producing that samosa and selling it. So that is the production. On the other hand, procurement means where that shopkeeper is not producing it, rather the shopkeeper is buying that one from someone else and selling it to the customer. For example, if you go to any grocery shop, then positively that grocery shop does not produce that shampoo or sugar or whatever items are there, and that is known as the procurement. They will procure, they will buy those goods and sell it to the customer. Next point, it is sale or exchange of goods and services. That is another feature of business. Here we have to that businessman, if we want to call something as a business, then there must be some sale or exchange of goods and services. What does it mean? Sale or exchange means there must be some sale or there must be some exchange. Exchange means if you are buying some goods and against that particular goods you are giving another goods, then that is exchange. So whatever maybe the condition does not matter. Uh, if that is a business, then there must be some sale or exchange of goods and services. Next point it is dealings in goods and services on a regular basis. This is one of the most important feature of business, because suppose one person just sold some goods for one time, then although other things are involved there, other features are there, but you cannot call that one as a business, because that it is that thing will not happen regularly, that person will not sell it regularly. For example, if you have sold your old books to some of your friend at a lesser cost, or whatever cost it may be, you have sold those old books. Now can we call that one as a business? The answer is no. Why no? Because you have sold that those books for one time only. You will positively not repeat that selling of books again and again. So as it is not taking place on a regular basis, therefore we cannot call that one as a business. Next thing, it is the next feature, it is profit earning. This profit earning is one of the most prominent feature of or characteristics of a business, because whenever a person will think about to establish a business, that person must think about profit, and that if that person is unable to derive any profit from business, then obviously that there is no logic to start the business, or carry on the business. So the main effort for a businessman should be to earn some profit. How much effort that person is giving in that business, they must get something in return, and that return is no will be called as the reward for the businessman. And what is the name of the reward here? Is the profit. Next point, it is uncertainty of return. This is another feature of business, that is the uncertainty of return. No businessman can tell that this year we are going to earn profit this much. Whatever, how much efficient businessman you are, one person maybe, does not matter. They never can say that we will earn a certain amount of profit each and every year. Next to impossible. So as there is a therefore there is a chance that whether the business firm will earn profit or not, always, and that's why we are calling it as the uncertainty of return. There is no certainty that the business will earn this much money. Next point is the element of risk. Risk is the uncertainty associated with an exposure to loss. And just to see, this is the extension of the sixth point. Here, as that return is uncertain, therefore there is an element of risk. Always there is a chance that business firm may suffer some less profit, or even the business firm may suffer some loss. So that is the another feature of business, element of. In this regard, we have to keep in mind risks are related with factors like changes in consumer taste and fashion. In this regard, we have to keep in mind, just to think that you have stored lots of goods, and all of a sudden something happened. People don't want to buy that particular product. So that is a risk, and you have to take the risk to, or a business firm has to take that risk to earn some extra profit. As you know that proverb, no risk, no gain. So the businessman have to take that risk. And another thing you have to keep in mind, no business can altogether do away with risks. It means that a businessman never can completely remove the matter of risk from the business. They may reduce it. There are several ways to reduce the risk, but they never can completely erase or completely abolish the chance of risk in a business firm. So that's all for today. Thank you for joining this class. We'll meet in the next class. Till then, take care. Good morning, students. Today we are going to learn about another new topic, that is the comparison of business, profession and employment. In this regard, we have to keep in mind that there is a term known as occupation. And someone of you may ask the question, what is the difference whether that business, profession or employment, whether those are occupation or not. In this regard, you just keep in mind that occupation means anything that a human being do for his or her livelihood. So that means that all these three terms, that is business, profession and employment, they obviously comes under the broader aspect of that top term, what we call as the occupation. So let us see that what are these three terms actually means and if there is any difference between those three. So here is the difference. There are four columns. See, basics, business, profession and employment. Let us see that what are those difference and what are the things. So first point is the mode of establishment. Business, in case of business, entrepreneur's decision and other legal formalities, if any, or if necessary, because if anyone want to start a business, they have to follow few rules and regulations which has been imposed on business by the government, and they change those rules and regulations time to time. Although there are few business which we learn later on, in that there is no such legal restrictions. You can start it whenever that business firm want. Whereas in case of profession, membership of a professional body and certificate of practice. If you want to be a professional, then that person must have to take a professional certificate from that particular professional body, and then only they can start that practice, otherwise not. For example, when students, when you will become a CA, you have to take a certificate from ICAI as the member of that, fellow member of that ICAI, so that you can start your work as a profession. Otherwise, you cannot start practice as a profession. On the other hand, in case of employment, you will when someone will join that job, they have to they have to sign on an appointment letter, and there are some agreement about that job responsibilities and other things. So those are the three things in case of business, profession and employment on the basis of mode of establishment. Number two, it is the nature of work. In case of business, provision of goods and services to the public. That means what kind of work we do. In case of business, that businessman just make available those goods and services even at your doorstep. That is the nature of work. In case of profession, rendering of personalized expert services. Okay, for example, if you have suppose a doctor, obviously a doctor a professional, and if the doctor is practicing by him or her own, and if you go to the doctor for with any sort of ailment, then doctor will diagnose it and that doctor will give you that medicine accordingly. So you will get a personalized as well as an expert service. Why it is an expert service? Because that person who has become a doctor, he has spent lots of time to reading that first MBBS, then MD or MS or other things. So they have spent lots of energy to get that particular MBBS degree or MS degree. So and now whatever advice they can give, that is obviously an expert one. In case of employment, performing work as per service contract or rules of services. Whatever that employer will tell to do, that person, that employee has to do that particular work if he or she is in a employment. In case of qualification, in case of business, no minimum qualification is necessary. Obviously means if you have that much IQ level for a business, if you know that you can do that business much more better than any other thing in the world, then that educational qualification is hardly matter. And there are plenty of such examples where a successful businessman don't have a regular academic qualification. So in case of business, no such qualification is required. Whereas in case of profession, you need to be well qualified in that particular matter, in that particular stream. You must have certificate, then only you will become a professional. For example, what I told, if you want to be a CA, you have to pass the CA exam and you have to take that membership in the ICAI, then only you will be able to become a professional, otherwise no. In case of employment, qualification and training as prescribed by the employer. Whatever employer will tell, you have to fulfill that much educational qualification in case of an employment. Next point, we have the reward or return. What a businessman get as a return? Obviously they get as a return the profit. That is the reward what a businessman get to take the risk of a business. In case of profession, that professional people, they get a professional fees, and an employee or in case of employment, the person that employee gets some salary or wages. In this regard, we have to keep in mind these salaries or wages, these are not very different thing. Only simply thing you have to consider, it is just a term to give some respect to the person who is getting. This salary generally get those officers, those who are in a upper position in that organization, and wages just to denote that these people are in the lower grade. So just that much. But you have to keep in mind that in an organization, no one is lower or high upper. All people perform their work, and then only one organization can become a world-class organization. Next point, it is the capital investment. Obviously, we know that a business, in case of a business firm, we need to invest capital. Now, what will be the size of the capital? That depends upon the nature of the business or size of the business. In case of a profession, we need some limited capital. Why we need some limited capital? Because suppose after completion of your CA degree, if you want to open your own office, obviously you need to invest some money there to either to take on rent that particular office room and to decorate that room. You need some money, and that is your limited capital. That is the capital you require. But in case of employment, you will not need it. You don't need any capital. Just if you have that much qualification, you will get that employment and you will enjoy the job. Next point, it is the risk. So next point is the risk. In case of business, that risk is very high, as I told you earlier. In case of business, the profits are uncertain and irregular. As a result, there are plenty of risks. In case of profession, that risk of fee is generally regular and certain. There are very less risk. For example, you just think there may be very few people who will visit to a doctor and say, doctor, I will pay your visit after some time, and they will never pay. This particular thing happens means very rarely. That's why those doctors become very clever, or all those professionals become very clever. First, you need to pay the fees, and then only you can enter in the in that chamber or whatever. So, in this regard, I mean, in case of profession, that risk is very low. And in case of employment, as that salary or wages is fixed or regular, therefore very little risk involved in case of profession. Seventh point is the transfer of interest. What does it mean? It means that whether it is possible to transfer the ownership right from one person to another person or not. In case of business, it is possible, it is somehow possible, transfer possible with some formalities. If there is some legal formalities, you have to do it, and you can easily transfer that. Business owner easily can transfer his or her whatever ownership right have on that particular business. That person, that owner, can transfer it to his or her son or daughter or wife, or anyone to whom that person think better. So in case of business, that transfer of interest is possible. In case of this profession, it is not possible. Why it is not possible? Because it is not necessary that son of a doctor will become a doctor, or the doctor on a nice morning will wake up and will give all of his or her expertise to his or her son or daughter. So that is not possible. As it is not possible, therefore that is a transfer of interest is not possible in case of profession. Well, in case of employment also, that is not possible, because suppose if I am working in an office, and I cannot tell that okay, I have done with my job, now I want to go away from this job, and I will recommend someone that that person will continue the job. We cannot do that one. Eighth point is the code of conduct. This code of conduct means there must be some rules and regulations what a person have to follow. If he or she wants to stay at a place, they have to follow what some rules and regulations. As there is a proverb, you know, that when you are in Rome, do what Romans do. That is the code of conduct. That whatever rules and regulations are there, you have to follow that. So in that business, in case of business, no code of conduct is prescribed. No such code of conduct. That businessman do whatever he or she thinks better, they do accordingly, and continue the business. Whereas in case of profession, there is a strict code of conduct. That means that institution formulate few code of conducts, do's and don'ts for the members of that particular institution, and those members can have to follow that rules and regulation code of conducts. For example, there is a code of conduct for a CA that they never can give any advertisement in any channel or anywhere. A CA cannot give any advertisement. For a doctor, there is some code of conduct that doctor never can come to an advertisement showing that he or she also use that same product or like that. So those are the code of conduct. In case of employment, norms of behavior laid down by the employer are to be followed. Whatever norms will be established by the employer, that people have to follow it. Example of our business, that is shop, factory, whatever. Example of profession, legal profession, medical profession, chartered accountant profession, and so on. And in case of jobs or jobs, we have jobs in bank, insurance, or even in a legal firm or a medical shop. Those all are the employment. Students, I hope this will remove all of your doubts, whatever you have in regard to this these three topics or three items, whatever we have learned here. If you have any doubt, please comment me, ask me. I will try to remove your all doubts. We'll meet you in the next period, next class. Till then, take care of yourself and your family, and enjoy life and enjoy study.